Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I am an author and addiction recovery coach and life coach, and a host of this show, Take Your Life Back Today radio show. You can see a video version of this if you go to YouTube on the channel Take Your Life Back Today show. We took some questions and answers, and here's another question. Here's a question from Mike from Indiana, and he asked the following: what are the first signs of spiritual awakening, and how do you feel it? Well, here's the answer, Mike, and thank you very much for that question. So, not everyone experiences awakening in exactly the same way, although there are general themes that are coming and common to many. Some people may have an awakening where the sense of separate self falls away, but they just carry on with normal everyday life, going to work and living much as they did before. Nothing really seems like it changed. Others seem to have a much more intense and dramatic awakenings, which leaves nothing untouched, and life changes quite dramatically. I will briefly describe some of the initial experiences, what seem to apply to many with some variations. The first signs are often that the old ego strategies and manipulations don't work anymore. You realize that you are not in control and really have never been in control. Whatever control you thought you had or seem to have are imaginary. Often there is a feeling of gigantic failure. All of the striving, efforting, all of the doing no longer works in the way it used to. The ego really doesn't like this at all. You may suddenly realize that everything previously had been built on sand and made from sand, and now your sandcastle is being washed away by the incoming tide. As you stand on the edge of the void, existential fear may come, and it is a fear of being nothing, of no longer existing. All you can do is be willing and surrender. Fear shakes you around for a while. It seems like it is the fear you have been running from all of your life, and here it is to be felt and to be faced. You are facing into the storm, and you stay because there is nowhere to run and nowhere to hide anymore. Finding out what is on the other side of this part of the process of awakening is very apparent. At the same time, or sometime before or after, there may come this energetic awakening. This can bring feelings of sublime bliss beyond anything you've ever had previously known. This can last for anything from hours to months, or sometimes even longer. It's like a spiritual honeymoon. You might even notice that you now seem to be heading in the opposite direction to the world and to most people you know. It feels like a complete turnaround, and this seems to be part of the journey you have to do entirely alone, although you also feel very connected to the way life is wanting to move and to the whole life in itself. You begin to notice the mind is often still or very much quieter than before. The mental noise is absent for the increasingly longer periods, and this becomes normal. You realize that this is your natural state. Mind chatter is now experienced as a very uncomfortable and unnatural way. The above tend to be the main first signs of spiritual awakenings. There's usually a process that unfolds over time following a genuine awakening, which is a process of purification and the falling away of the old conditioning and falling in line to serve the Lord Almighty. Those are signs of spiritual awakening. Call me at 844-405. Together we can help each other take our lives back. Be good to yourselves and always be good to each other. And remember, simple smile to anyone can change that person for the rest of their life. It can make a difference in your life. You'll know when you have a spiritual awakening. I promise you that. For anyone watching me that's had one, you'll know the feeling because you have been there, and you'll know if you haven't had one. May God bless you, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.